I think we're in an absolute AI renaissance. Never before have we been able to ship things so fast. Me, a non developer, non coder guy, I'm able to jump in with some of these tools. And so, what I want to do is create like a really raw video series because I'm learning so fast that I just want to share with you what I'm learning and what's happening. All right, for starters, let me play this clip real quick from the CEO of Anthropic. I just listened to this interview this morning. This is what he said. It's a 12-second clip.
Is we are not far from a world, I think we'll be there in 3 to 6 months, where AI is writing 90% of the code. And then in 12 months, we may be in a world where AI is writing essentially all of the code.
If he's right, what that means to me is that knowing code will no longer be important, but having an idea and developing the idea and talking to the AI and creating what you want, that's what will become important. I also have this crazy thought that instead of there being like, say, a dozen softwares that do this one thing, I think we'll almost be able to have individual softwares, like individualized, where we can create what we want on our own and make it specific to us. Maybe you use a software and there's one piece that you don't like. Maybe you can take that one piece and tweak it and then create your own version of a software that does exactly what you want. I think this might be the future. I'm not sure. I have no idea. All right, let's see where this goes. All right, so I have ideas like all the time. When I say all the time, I mean all the time. So in Trello, I literally have a business ideas board where I'm just like, I'm beginning to track my ideas and things that I'm starting to actually build out with some of these AI tools. All right, let me show you a few of these things of what I'm talking about. You've probably heard of some of these, and I'm going to tell you how I'm thinking about them and kind of what I'm using them for. I don't even know what Cursor is. It Cursor? Yeah, .com. So I have not used Cursor, although you've probably heard of it. The reason is I heard that it is the best for people that already know some code. Well, I don't know any code. So there's other tools. Again, you've probably heard of them. If you have not, then I'll show you, and then I'm going to walk through them real quick. Not the details of them. I'm going to share with you what my thoughts are. So bolt.new is one of the tools. v.dev is one of the tools, which the first time I came here, I was like, oh, that's kind of a weird URL or whatever. Well, now I'm learning that their parent company is huge, and it's a really big company. Okay, the other one is lovable.dev. This isn't the end, and these are getting created like probably left and right like crazy. If you go to like Y Combinator, which is a huge startup program, if you go and look at those, there's a bunch of AI tools. These are going to continue coming. I think what's more important is to just kind of understand like how they operate and how they work and what's going on with these tools, right? So now I have used now both this one and Lovable. Lovable, I just really like the name of it. I think it's pretty cool. They've grown really fast, and these tools are also changing really fast as well. So yeah, so let me log in and I can show you kind of projects that I'm working on right now. All right, again, so we're gonna hop into these two and look at these. All right, let me talk you through a couple things. Again, me, not a developer. These are some of the things that I have learned and what I am learning, right? So what these are going to do is they're going to build you like a front end interface that's going to look good. At least that's where it's going to start, right? So you're going to start with a prompt and say, you know, build me this, build me that, whatever, build me a landing page, build me whatever. And it's going to create a pretty awesome like interface like project. Like, so I'm creating a credit card tracker, and in future videos as I track, I'll talk more in depth about the kind of the chat that I'm having and like the changes that I'm making and like what I'm doing there. That's not necessarily going to be the point of this first video. I just want to tell you how they work. So what happens is you're going to come in here and you're going to be like, wow, like that looks amazing. Then you're going to start clicking around and realize that maybe stuff doesn't work. I think mine does because I've gotten it set up. Yeah, I actually have like sign in page and stuff. Okay. But so people kind of get that, like they come in here and they're like, oh man, like it's not working, or like whatever, like the interface doesn't work. Like, so, okay, let me go to one that merchant codes. Here's a sample of a site. So, okay. So here's some merchant code. So this is a project idea that I have, but like, let me click around. Can I add a new code? It's like, if you add the code, does it actually happen? Does it actually work? Maybe. Test. So it'll probably go on this list. So there it is. Super cool. So like that works. Let me go to the about page. Sometimes like there won't be anything there. Like, okay, there's some stuff here, and we could adjust this over time, but there's no the links down here. Like, how do I log in? How do I sign in? I need to sign into this thing. So you have to like, once you have the basic structure or platform, you have to then like build the other components. And if you're going to build like an app where you need to store stuff and stuff like that, that's where I have learned about a few things. So Supabase, I've learned about Firebase, which Firebase is owned by Google. Supabase is an open source project. These are called back-end as a service, I think is what it's kind of being labeled as. Do they even have it on here? They may. I don't know. All right, so imagine a few things. So authentication, so like logins for like when you sign up for a tool yourself, like you're going to use this like authentication or log in with a name and email, like all that has to gets stored somewhere to assign a user to like a tool. That's what these guys do. And that's what Firebase does. Cool thing about Supabase, which I've learned, I've kind of done some comparison using like ChatGPT and like to learn about these tools and like, hey, what's better for this and what's better for that. It's directly integrated into Lovable, which is pretty neat, meaning you don't have to go over here and like figure out how to attach it to your project. You can directly attach it. So like I already have like this, the credit card tracker project is already connected. What does that mean? It means that like it's literally creating like in my Supabase account the like users, and then it's attaching their information to them. What does that mean? It means I'll be able to potentially commercialize the product, actually sell it, and turn it into an actual product, right? That like people can use and pay for. They start with a free plan and then moves up to a paid plan when you need whatever. But from what I see, like the free plan is pretty generous, and that's like where I'm starting, and that's how I'm testing things that I'm building and how I'm going to do that. Another thought is that I am most likely, even though these are improving rapidly and fast, I am most likely going to run into roadblocks with these projects. And I think that's where I'll bring in a developer and hire a developer to help me, right? But what's happening is I'm able to get my project, my idea from zero to like this point here, and then get it the last mile maybe to get like the final things buttoned up, rather than originally. So like just 1 year ago, I would have all these ideas and I'm like, well, yeah, there's no way I can afford to like bring that to life. Now, I mean, I literally, I'm paying Lovable $20 a month to be able to use that. bo.dev, let me give you an example. Currently, I have not paid for it yet. So I did what's called, I forked a game. So I basically said, hey, cool, here's this project that's just open to the public. Let me fork it. So it means I made my own version. And I literally was able to have let's see, I think it's called Mobile Memory Match. I was literally, let's see if it's live here. Live on our website, on our local media channel, on the Mobile Rundown, we have a memory match game. So I'm going to make more of these games. And then I was able to send this out in our email newsletter. Well, we have ads running on this page. So that's crazy. And so what happens is this company is tied to what's called Vercel. So Vercel actually owns that company. And so this is something new that I've also learned of like, what is Vercel? Okay, I'm like logged in right now. But Vercel is basically a company that like will store your app online and host the app and run it. And they also have a free plan that's a basic free plan and can increase from there. So like you will be able to test like I'm doing this, you'll be able to do it. We'll be able to test these things and tools and like really tweak, and like creativity is where all this is going. And that's what I find that super interesting. So I'm going to track this over time. I'm going to share with you what I'm learning both here on YouTube and in my email newsletter. Weekly, I share like all the different projects that I'm working on. So not just this stuff, but all the different income streams that I'm working on. So if you want to sign up for that, we'll also give you 100 free business ideas. If you want to sign up for that, you can get that down below. And yeah, I'm pretty excited if you can't tell. All right, see you later. See ya.